So your problem is very simple. I must have explained this 1,000 times to, people in different countries. Most English teachers today will stand in front of a blackboard and, do the chalk and talk. They write and they talk. They explain irregular verbs. The past of speak is not speak it, it's spoke. Kids copy it down. Next week there'll be a test. You had better remember it. They don't help children remember it. They don't tell them a song that they could sing that will help them remember the 100 most frequently used irregular verbs. They simply say, I'm explaining to you what this means. Now you go home and memorize it. That's pretty much useless when you're trying to speak another language, okay? I mean, if you're trying to speak English or Hebrew or anything, you have plenty of time to think when you're listening and when you're writing. But when you're speaking, you don't have that much time to think. So what teachers really have to do when they're teaching a language nowadays is explain what the word means in the local language, and then maybe hit the students with sentences in their own language and have them translate it to English really fast. Just see if they can do it. Go around the table quickly, but you need to be bilingual. That's probably the best bang for your buck nowadays, because the stupidity is that most English teachers who come here for a job I'll say to them, explain to me how to tell time. And they'll tell me, well, in English, we use 5 minutes to, or 5 minutes after, or 5 minutes before, and 5 minutes past. And I'll say to them, I already know that, but when I'm speaking English, I make all kinds of mistakes. I just can't get it out quickly and correctly. Help me with that. And that's where they don't know what to do. Most English teachers will look at you and say, gee, I don't know. I mean, go to England, go to America, practice, talk to somebody. But I'm paying you to do that. And that is more or less, I think, what separates the men from the boys. The really good math teachers will tell you a song that helps you remember the formulas very quickly without having to go home and memorize them. Map teachers will tell you a song that helps you remember all the capitals of all the states really fast. English teachers should tell you tricks also, but there's even more, that the English teacher has to do something so that you're able to speak English quickly and correctly. We're talking about an active English. Okay, a lot of people have a listening level of English that's super high, and when they write also. But when they speak like a bunch of idiots. I mean, they talk without making mistakes, but at a baby level. Or they try to talk sophisticated and they make a mistake every second. And what you need is a methodology that will help students to speak English quickly and correctly. I recommend a bilingual teacher who can explain something to you, like the past tense of speak is spoke, and then hit you with sentences in the local language, your language, that you have to translate to English. You need a bilingual teacher. That's what we do to earn a living. It's probably the most effective methodology today, not only to teach people English, but to teach them to speak the damn language quickly in the field. Okay, not just understanding the grammar, like I know history, but I'm not going to go back in time. I know geography, I'm not going anywhere. I know English, but I don't need to speak it. You damn well need to speak it. Your life depends on it. Your money depends on it. You've got to be fast. Okay? I mean, I've had this philosophy for 30 years, ever since I remember, talking to people who had really high levels of English, but made all kinds of mistakes. And they said to me, I understand a lot more than I can say. The traditional method of teaching English is a piece of garbage. I mean, teaching English like it's a class in a high school, like history or geography or math, it doesn't work. I mean, you really need to train your English student like a dancer, like a ballerina. They have to dance. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. Say it again, repeat it again. Okay? It's the best way. Believe it or not, when you want to learn something new in an English language, and I show it to you, if you see it, you're probably, let's say, 1/10 possibility you'll remember it. But if you speak it in both out loud, you're much more likely to be able to produce it quickly without even thinking, like you have a saint helping you, like automatic pilot. Getting people to say it out loud is the key to getting them to say it out loud again. But the first time out loud is kind of like a simulation in a classroom. You need to do that a lot. When I test teachers and I listen to them to see if they're good, my rule is pretty simple. During a 1-hour class, if the teacher's talking for more than 20 minutes, you're fired. Simple and easy. I want to hear those students talking.